Hey everyone, and welcome to another Goodgame Empire video. Today we will be covering the courtyard limit and everything which can influence the number of units you can keep in your courtyard. So this will be another video in like mini series about the update of this century, because there were many changes, so I'm covering them in separate videos, so it's not like 1 hour long video about everything. So the first video was about the new attack screen, and this video will be about the courtyard limit, and the third video will be about generals, their skills and abilities and how to use those things. But today we will focus on the courtyard limit only. Okay, so basically what is the courtyard limit? Well, it is a number which limits the units which you can have in your courtyard when you are fighting with some enemy in defense. So it means that if you, for example, have a limit of 300,000 units in your courtyard, but you keep 1 million units in your castle, only 300,000 of this 1 million units will take part in the battle in your courtyard, and the rest 700,000 of those troops will not influence the result of the battle because they were over the limit. And the limit takes into consideration the strongest units. So if you have different levels of mid units, for example, it will choose the best units for you. So it will use the strongest ones. So when we go to the castle defense overview, to see your courtyard limit, you need to go to the keep tab right there, and your limit will be shown there. Soldiers in the courtyard and courtyard capacity. So the first number is how many units you have. The second number shows you how many units you can keep at maximum. And today we will talk about how to increase this number, because obviously in defense, more units means that you will lose less of those units in defense, because more units means that there is more strength combat, which means that your casualties will be lower thanks to this extra bonus to the strength. Okay, so one more thing to note when we are still there is the melee and ranged soldiers ratio. So here you can change it the same as you do on the walls. As you can see now, it is 44 to 56, and the ratio there is is visible. Yeah, we have like 265 ranged and 210,000 melee units. So we have a bit more ranged units there. That's my setup. But generally, I would recommend there to set this percentage depending on the attack which is incoming. Obviously, you can't always set it, so when you are offline, I would say that something close to this, like 55% ranged, would be a good choice. Basically because the usual PvP attacks construct of a bit more ranged than melee units, usually. Not always, every attack can be different, so you need to choose this percentage depending on the attack. If, for example, the attack is all made of melee units, you should put more melee units there, like this. Or maybe the attack has a lot of ranged units and only, let's say, one wave of melee units, then you can go for something like this. Because obviously if you put more units of the same type that they are incoming from the attack, you're going to lose less, because they are better at defending against those troops. Alright, so let's keep it like this, and now let's talk about what things can increase the number of units in the courtyard, because this is very important, of course. Alright, so the first and major building which influences this number is the keep, so the main building of every of your castle. So let's go back to the level 1, and I will tell you the number of units in the courtyard you are getting for each level. So on this level, the total number of units in the courtyard is 10,000 on level 1. On level 2, it increases to 50,000. And up from level 2, it will increase by 50,000 per every next level. 100,000 on 3, 150 on level 4, 200 on level 5, 250,000 on level 6, and 300,000 on level 7. This is the maximum value the keep can give you, so have that in mind. For example, if you don't have keep level 7 in your kingdoms, then the limit in those kingdoms will be lower because of lower level of the keep building. Alright, the next important building which can increase the number of units in your courtyard is the stronghold. And keep in mind that this is partially a ruby building, because upgrading it from level 3 costs you rubies. In total, the cost of maxing this building is around 70,000 rubies, so it's not that cheap. But let's take a look at the numbers. So the first level is for resources. It gives you 7,500, so 7.5k. The second level gives you 15,000, so the increment is again by 7,500. So in total you get 15k on second level, and then the third level is a ruby level, and here you get extra 15k for each next level. So on this level we are getting 30,000, on level 4 we are getting 45,000, and on level 5 we are getting 60,000 more units in the courtyard limit. So this is another important building to increase this limit. And the third building is guardhouses. Guardhouses can be put into the inner district, so have that in mind. I only built 2 in my castle because they are not that significant change to the courtyard limit. Yeah, but every one level of guardhouse will give you 1,000 more. So it's 1,000 for each level, yeah? 1k, 2k, 3k, 4k, 5k, 6k, 7k. So 7,000 more units in the courtyard per one maxed guardhouse. That's how it goes. Alright, so that's all for the buildings in your castles, which allow to increase the number of units in the courtyard. And now let's move to other things which can increase it. I didn't yet make a video about generals, but I guess most of you already figured out how they work. But to make it quick, because there will be a separate video about generals, let's go to the generals overview. And the general, many of them, not only Horatio, but I think that some of them also have this bonus, if not all of them actually. Let's go to skills, and here just to note one thing. It's not gonna be a full guide, but one thing here, if you have the activates an effect here, this means that it is going to be active always. But if you have, for example, there unlocks an ability here in the description, ability written in this description, it means that it has to be chosen in the second window with abilities here and put to any of ability slots. But for now we are interested in skills, and the interesting skill for us is the final rally cry skill, and it activates an effect which gives you 12,500 per level of this perk. So you can have up to 12 levels of this perk, and on maximum level it will give you extra 150,000 units in the courtyard. So that's a nice bonus. As you can see, I'm on level 9 now because my general has level 9. I had 9 points to spend, and I decided that it will be a good choice to spend them on the courtyard capacity limit. So as you can see, now I'm getting extra 112.5k to troop capacity in courtyard defense. And one more thing to note there: if you already chose this skill in your general, this general has to be assigned to the castle, because if it's not, then it's not gonna count to the limit here. As you can see, now it is 471.5k, and if we don't have him assigned, it's gonna be less. It's gonna be 359,000. So the general has to be assigned, and also extra advantage of this general is that you can move him from castle to castle. It's actually easier to do it in this overview here, at least for me it's easier there. So you can move it, for example, to this castle, Lightness. This is a temporary outpost. As you can see, it is 122k. If we don't have him, it's only 10,000. So it's a huge change, for example, there in this castle, because the keep is on level 1. So it gives us only 10,000 units in the courtyard limit. Right, and 2 more things about the limit. They can be found in the Generals Inn. So if you go to this information box in the top left corner, you will see many items you can win at the King Ludwig offering, at the Sir Ulrich offering, and at Princess Beatrice offering. So the rewards also include some items which increase the, this is for attack, but we are interested in something called troop capacity in courtyard defense. This is the limit we are looking at, and it adds 12,000 to the limit. It can be applied on the keep, so you won't be able to use other items, for example the item from Master Blacksmith for extra courtyard strength when attacking. So you have to choose one or the another item, but as you can see, extra 12,000 units in the courtyard. and I think there's one more, yeah, for the barracks and for the hospital. So in total you can increase the base number by 36,000 here. And those temporary items can be won there, and they last for 1 day. I think they are the same for all the offerings. Yeah, so no matter which patron do you offer with, they're going to give you the same item actually. All right, what else do we have? I think, yeah, there is a bonus which gives you a percentage increasement, 2% to troop capacity in courtyard defense. So as you can see, right now I think it is the only item which increases the capacity in the courtyard by a percent value. And as we know, the percent values mean that they are a multiplier to the base value of anything in the game. Basically, it works like this for everything. So for example, we have 300,000 limit in the courtyard, and we get 2%, so we are getting extra 6,000. But if we have the general bonus and other bonuses, and let's say that our base number is 500,000, then we are gonna get extra 10,000 from this item. So this item bonus depends on the base number we have in the troop capacity. Here we have another item. This is appearance item for your Castellan slot, and it gives you 12,500 troop capacity in the courtyard. It lasts for 7 days. Okay, this is for castle wall, and I think, okay, this is for attack, and I think that's it for the equipment items and appearance items for buildings. So that's actually it, all about the courtyard limits. So if you want to know more, or if you want to ask any questions, then feel free to go on and write them in the comments section. I'm gonna try to answer everything as always. And yeah, that's all about the courtyard limit. Final word, because yeah, many people would probably ask about opinion or share their own, so I'm also gonna share a quick opinion from my point of view. The first try, when we initially got a limit of 3,000 units in the courtyard, it was a joke. It was an obvious joke, and they made a whole circus out of this. But they got our suggestions. They saw that it was a ridiculously low number, and they increased it to a good value. In my opinion, the courtyard limit is a very good move by Goodgame Studios, because it blocks a possibility of holding a few million units in defense, for example from alliance support. Because if you have a few 100,000 units, it's fine, but if you keep 5 million units, it's very, very hard to break through such castle. But now, when we have this defense, we can still send alliance support, so we don't run out of troops to supply the courtyard limit. But actually, the number of the troops which fight in the courtyard is not insanely huge. It's like a few 100,000, which is, in my opinion, very fair compared to the size of the attacks currently being like between 15 to 24,000 for most of players. Yeah, so it's a very good change, because we are not fighting against a few millions, and the balance between the defense and the attack is kept pretty well, in my opinion, in my perspective. Also, another point is that we've got a better statistics for defensive structures, such as towers, for example. We've got way more soldiers on towers, which escalates to more units on the wall. But not only this, also the castle gate strength, it got bigger, the wall strength and the moat strength, they all got bigger values, and therefore the battle kinda moved from the courtyard to the wall. So right now we are trying to block more attackers on the wall, so we let pass less attackers into the courtyard, so we kinda make the casualties the same as they were the old way, but trying to, you know, make more part of, like, bigger part of the fight takes place on the wall, and smaller part of the fight takes place on the courtyard, such as actually it was the same a few years ago, back when we didn't have those bunkers, like those a few million units. So we also had to take the big part of the fight on the castle wall, and now it has been remade to this point of the game, so the wall is again very meaningful, and trying to keep to block as many attackers on the wall as possible is very, very important, so you let less units into the courtyard, and therefore you get lower casualties in the courtyard. So the strategy changes very much now. So yeah, that's some final word. Again, thanks for watching. If the video was helpful, leave a like, remember to share it with your alliance mates in your Discord servers, and feel free to join my Discord server as well, because it's the best unofficial Discord server for Goodgame Empire. You're gonna find there literally everything you need for the game. Alright, so thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!